Hey guys, it's Jaden. Today we're talking about Canada's Drag Race, and we're finally on episode 10. It's time for that finale. And, I have so many thoughts. Before I get there, let me just say, I know last week's video didn't come out. I had it filmed, I was gonna edit it, but then stuff just kept happening. I was just like, you know what, I don't wanna deal with this. And I think a lot of it was because a lot of what the video kind of addressed was a little bit of it went on a whole rant about kind of talking about, Jeffrey and all that stuff, and how, anti-blackness and racism and death threats don't need to be shone or pushed towards any particular person at all. At the end of the day, it's just a show. Do I think that some of his comments on the show have been a little bit rude? Yes. Do I think that the production, the people who edit the show and stuff like that, did not protect this man in the best way by going out of their way to highlight some of the things that he has said and held on those moments in terms of editing? Yes, but past that, I think, it is what it is. The show is what the show is. And here we are right now at the finale. And like I said, well, I didn't say it, but I just want to take it a little bit different this time, because there's just a lot to talk about, right? This was the first finale for Canada's Drag Race, season 1. And this show, World Wonder has really understood how to really wrap up this show, how to really give you the goods, right? They've taken this whole entire, I can't think of the word. They've taken this whole entire brand and they've moved it to another country, just put another country's label onto it, and they've made something great. They've done that with not just with America's Drag Race. They've done it with Thailand, Drag Race Thailand. They're about to bring out Holland. I guess we're about to get Australia sometime, whenever. And it's just really exciting to know that, for Canada, there's just something different about this show. The girls have been very different. I mean, off the gate, it just feels like there's just a breath of fresh air and youthful, joy. America's Drag Race is good, but, there's something off about it half the time, in the sense of, half the girls you could tell who are just, there to become social media famous and all that. And other half of the girls, it's okay, I can actually see a personality out of this. And you're like, okay, cool, you can root for these people. And I just feel like all the girls on this season have been, you could root for all of them. And that's just something that is just very rare, and it's such a breath of fresh air about it, and that's that. But my point of saying a little bit different, let's just go straight into the main runways, because the girls came back, right? All of the girls came back, and let's just hit it up. Category is Coronation Eleganza, and we're doing all the girls, even the mini reunion that we got. Starting off from the beginning with Juicebox. Juicebox coming out the gate is looking gorgeous. She says, you know what, I may have gone home first, but you know what, I'm bringing it to you now. You see what I got on, I look expensive, gorgeous, love it. Next up, we have Kyne. Kyne, I'm gonna be honest, not the biggest fan of this. This just looks, it's nice. Not the biggest fan, but it's nice. I would expect a little bit more from Kyne, a little something different than Kyne. I don't know. I was expecting something different. That's all. Next up, Anastasia Anakwe. See, this is what I'm saying. I expect this from her. But it's elevated. It's more. That's what I was looking for from Kyne's look, and this is just gorgeous. It's giving me just royalty. It's giving me great. People love a fishtail, it seems like. She just looks elegant. She looks so unique. She stands out in a crowd, and we love to see that. And everything is on point. Next up, Tainome Banks. And you know what, Miss Tainome, I think I figured her out in the sense of I get it. I get what she does. I see what she does really well. It's a shame that this show didn't allow her to show us more of what she can do and what she has done in the past, or what she was going to do in the future. But no matter what, she looks gorgeous. Next up, Kiara. Best she's looked. I like this look. I think she looks great. Yeah, I really like this. It really looks nice. Next up, Boa. They told her to serve glamour, and she finally really did. And I love a slick back wig. I like a beat face. She wasn't giving you comedy. She was looking like the small, wonderful, skinny queen that she is. And she looks gorgeous. She looks thick in all the right places. And we're happy about it. So shout out to Miss Boa, because the bitch was what? On arrival. Yes. Next up, Elona Varley. And I just have to say, wow. We love seeing like other people's cultures being on the stage. And I really like that she's been a representative of the First Nations people and within the Canadian region. And she told a story. She said, I have my moment and that's what I'm gonna bring to you. Next up, Lemon. Lemon was serving you Big Bird realness. I mean, she was giving me very like the swan dress from White Chicks. That's what I was getting from this. But like in yellow, she looked good. It's just, that's what I was getting from it. Next up, Jimbo. The girl Jimbo don't play no games, and she'll come out and still be herself. And at the end of the day, that's exactly who she is. And we have to love everything that Jimbo has brought to us, especially this outfit. I mean, gorgeous. I mean, rainbow. I mean, all about everything that Miss Jimbo is standing for, and we love to see it. Next up, our top 3 queens. We're talking about Miss Rita Baga. Rita, giving me very Wicked Witch of the West during Once Upon a Time. That's what I was getting. I know she was going for that alien mistress, alien monstrous. But that's what I was getting. She looks gorgeous though. I think that she's one of those queens. She's really like a really campy queen. She's really good at what she does. Like, it's like you always kept on your toes when she's around. And that's what I love to see when it comes from Rita Baga. Next up, Miss Scarlet Bobo. Miss Scarlet, I mean, this is the best she's looked. I mean, that makeup is painted. Her face looks so smooth. She's looking like she is ready to go. She's ready to boss out. She's giving you elegance, but at the same time giving you punk rock. And you know what? That is really what Miss Scarlet is giving us, and we're happy to see it. Yes. Lastly but not least, what's her name? I think it's Priyanka, because she did that with this outfit. This is a beautiful outfit. I love this outfit. I cannot speak enough about this outfit. Like, she just looked so good, period. I don't have anything else to say about it. But essentially the queens were challenged this week with making their lyrics and learning choreography for You Wear It Well and doing a remix. Honestly, still thinking it's really surprising that none of the seasons that we've been doing these musical in the show numbers, that You Wear It Well was not one of the songs remixed. I thought we did. I just don't think that it ever was. I think it's because you're so used to hearing it, you would think that they would have done it by now, but it turns out they really haven't. And the production, the budget, the choreography, the lights, the outfits, I mean, the lyricism, the music, the girls. I mean, Miss Scarlet, Miss Priyanka, and Miss Rita really just came out the gate stunting. They were running to that finish line. This was easily top 3 of all remix songs that have been on the show. I mean, some might even dare to say it's more polished and overall better than Read You, Wrote You, which, we don't talk about how that's the top song, but like, I mean, it was just genuinely so good. So good. It just, how do I say this without like just repeating myself? They were given the time in the gravitas to truly actually like give some lyricism. They were given the opportunity to really remix the song and make it their own. It's something that like, you look back at even like All Stars, you're like, were you really given the opportunity to really make these lyrics? You start thinking like Clapback. Clapback didn't have like a long enough lyric point for each of the girls to really like go off. It just didn't. And then basically at the end of that, you had Bob being like, okay, let me give you my version. And I'm pretty sure if none of the girls would have really like had those short verses, Bob wouldn't have been like the top one in there. But Bob wasn't even on the show, and Bob had the top verse. If you looked at other girls on this season, honestly, I'm really confused as to who would you say. Because if you're looking for different things from each exact person, then you're just seeing something completely different. And I think that every single one of these girls, especially when it came to doing You Wear It World, did such a good job. Oh my God, like, it's up there with Kitty Girl. And Kitty Girl was a bob. Yeah, I'd say, ooh, yeah, no, I would say it's easily up there. If not top three, top four. Because I would say Read You, Wrote You category is Kitty Girl and this song. Easily top songs that have been on Drag Race. And wow, I don't even know. Like, I'm still blown away. It's just something about like this remix though. It just has so much power and gravitas that all the other remixes that have come out so far have not had or had in a long time. And I think it was probably the epicness of just the three of them being able to really like boss out the way that they did. In addition to that, let's talk about a quick notable mention, just overall, track record discussion. I think the track record discussion kind of went out of the window because it's very difficult to talk about the track record of Rita, of Scarlet, and of Priyanka without taking into account that both Priyanka and Rita were both in the bottom twice and both had to lip sync twice, while Miss Scarlet basically being, safe but high top the entirety of the season and winning the challenge that she had to win in order to secure her spot. I mean, it just kind of was like a situation where you're all kind of like even for the most part. Jeffrey's doing interviewing. Miss Brooklyn said, "Let me bring out my track suit." And I really thought she was about to teach a quick a 4 to 8 count. And no, she didn't. She sat there and watched. Something I really liked was actually the reunion being part of this show. I think that because the show is on like Wow Plus or whatever, that it's just easier to condense everything into like one solid hour. Like if you look at actual Drag Race, that shit condenses down to 1 hour. 1 hour. It's just wild. It's really just wild. But let's just get into this lip sync so I can really discuss my feelings overall. So we had to try lip sync because everybody was even essentially, and all the girls were going crazy, right? We have the old girls who were eliminated, came back. We had essentially Priyanka, Rita, and Miss Scarlet lip syncing it out to the finish. And here's the thing, Miss Scarlet said, "Let me slip, boom, I'm about to give you a reveal." And honestly, if I had to say, did I expect it? I really didn't. But like Miss Scarlet then all of a sudden started whipping her ass all over the stage and really just going for it. And do I remember that song? No, because I missed it and I was okay about it because I was really focused on what was happening. They were going. And then you had Miss Rita just out here. She said, "Let me give you a reveal." Pop. And all of a sudden you were like, damn, you got no pads on. Like Rita looked like a pea for the most part, like a Wendy Williams pea. But we don't want to talk about that. It's just like she was just walking around the stage left and right giving you can't be, goodness. And Miss Priyanka was giving you like, okay, I'm going to give you a Bollywood musical, period. Let me give you a little this, let me give you a little that. I mean, it was just so wonderful. And if I had to be honest, like but this is my personal opinion of how I wanted the show to go, I would also have chosen the same person because I just think that throughout the entirety of the season that they have represented like everything that Drag Race should be and should be talked about. And I think that they have flourished very well in the competition. And they were very not one note when it comes to their highs and their lows. And we love a good story of redemption. So we have to shout it out to Miss Priyanka, our first Canadian superstar. And here's the thing. I've been rooting for Priyanka. So it's nice to know that, like, it's just so nice. And I've been saying this since, like, episode 1 that I really like Priyanka. There was something about Priyanka I was like, oh, I like her. I really like her. And I think it had to do with the fact that I just genuinely was interested in, like, who she was and, like, her and what she would represent on television and what she was bringing to the table and her story. Like, I really just love that aspect of it. I know at the beginning, and actually I started this kind of like in season 12, but like I'm rooting for everybody black. And I still believe that. I really am always rooting for everyone black, period. Because I believe that, representation in all forms, but I think that also goes to other people of color, especially people who don't get as much like representation in the media as much as like, everyone else. So I just wanted to shout out to Miss Priyanka because Priyanka really did that this episode. Like, what's her name is Priyanka, and she's so good. I can't wait to see what her merch is going to be. I can't wait to see what she's going to do with this crown. I'm genuinely excited. But like speaking of like just in general like Canada and where it goes from there, I think there was a lot of good things that have happened this season. I think that Canada has really taken the show and really molded it into its own particular form. And if the girls for the next season can actually keep that same type of fresh air and enthusiasm as this season has, and the solid lip syncs, I think this could be a great, great, great Monarch. I forgot the word, franchise. I do want to say that I think that something that would be interesting, like going forward in the next season, do not do what they did to the pageant. Don't give them characters. Let them actually just compete in an actual pageant. I think something that will also help the show is them having one solid host. But I actually like the guest host idea, but I think having like a solid host would be something of like power. And depending on who ends up being the host for Holland, it depends on how I feel about whether Brooklyn should just take the hosting gig. Because it makes sense to me, like she would be the host. But I don't know. What else? Something else I really just loved about Canada. Canada was, besides being the breath of fresh air that we all needed, it was just light, airy, fun, bright, beautiful. I mean, the girls were giving you a whole different set of language half the time. They weren't like overly bitchy with each other, which is something that I kind of appreciate. And the drama that was there, it was drama, but it was just like, wow, this is solid. This is like solid drama. And we had some epic queens, epic queens, like Miss Jimbo, who was robbed most of the competition. And if you really think about it, if Miss Jimbo was given the opportunity to truly flourish and give her the props where she was due, imagine what that top 3 or 4 would have been, honestly. But I will say, like, I'm not on that brand of like, oh my God, Jimbo or bust, because no. This has been a Priyanka stan account since the beginning, so like it's been about, honestly, it's been a stan account for Anastasia, Tainome, Kiara. Let's not lie. I was not a big fan of Kiara. I couldn't get on board with Kiara. Let's not lie. I'm not gonna lie. No, that's not what we're doing here. That's not who we are. Tainome, Priyanka, and Jimbo, like, and then Scarlet, because I just really saw something like Scarlet has just been bringing it the entirety of the episodes. And I don't know. I just feel like I'm going off in a tangent at this point. But my point is, do you agree with who won that crown? Do you agree? Like, honestly, I'm just so happy for her. Truly, honestly, so ecstatic. If the words can't just come out fast enough, like the way I like screamed and shouted for like the fact that she won, it felt like when Shay won. It felt like when Jada won. It felt like when Evie won. It felt like when Monet won. It just felt so good to see people of color winning at things because they're good and they're being recognized for it and given that opportunity. Now, there's nothing else to that. It's just, that's it. Like, I felt good. Also, their music video was just that good. But anyway, I digress. That's my episode for today. Catch me next week. I don't know what I'm going to film next week. I really don't. But yeah, we're done with Canada's Drag Race. Thank y'all so much. I'll see y'all later. Bye.